Do I say hi? Do you think hi is weird?
What's up, bitches?
Did I leave the stove on?
I'm Chance.
And I'm probably Ryan.
Probably.
The best one.
Out of all, yeah. I think that goes without saying it's easily the best Superman movie. Which, good for being the first and best one. Shame that nothing's ever topped it.
It's the first superhero movie, and it just captured this like very superhero feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's because of that, and like we're like superhero movies are just a normal thing now. Superman the movie is definitely like a magical thing. Like he embodies so much, and now you actually get to see him on the big screen.
But you will believe a man can fly.
Yes.
I'll put the poster up here. Said so on the poster, so you know it's real. I feel like I have a lot more on my notes than you do. You memorized yours. I'm stupid and then easily the biggest positive to come out of this Christopher Reeve as Superman.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at that. That looks like Superman.
Beautiful.
Goddamn right. Like if you were to tell me if Superman came to life out of the comic books, that's what he'd look like.
Yeah.
I believe it.
He's like, to me, he's like top 5 best casting decisions ever.
Yeah.
In movies. Like.
Oh, not just superhero movie?
No, like ever.
Ever? Overall, for like Superman the movie, I think the acting's good.
Yeah.
I think everyone plays their role really, really well. I like how Christopher Reeve, he's like super like clumsy and bumbling as Clark Kent, and instantly like super Mr. Confidence Superman. I also really like Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor, what is your opinion on that?
I thought, to me, I always see Lex Luthor as, he's maniacal, he's a psychopath, but he's not goofy. To me, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor reminded me of Willy Wonka.
Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor is like Willy Wonka from like the 70s. And Jesse Eisenberg is Willy Wonka from like the Johnny Depp Tim Burton one.
Yeah. I see Lex Luthor as just always plotting, always scheming. And to me, he just didn't do anything in this movie to like make me feel like, oh, that guy, he is a villain. I was never...
I mean, he was destroying a dam and flooding a whole city. That's a little villainous, don't you think? He was going to destroy that little model city. He was going to fuck it all up.
Well, and he's bald.
I mean, he's bald in the movie.
Yeah.
At the end, he takes the...
Yeah, it was like, what? Now that I liked. I was like, what?
That's the biggest twist in the whole movie. He was bald the whole time. He bamboozled. Lex bamboozled us again with the bald ass head. You're telling me I'm supposed to take this movie 100% serious when Superman goes to a revolving door and changes in front of a pimp in his hose?
Yes. Maybe.
Maybe?
I just felt like this Lex Luthor belonged in Adam West's Batman TV show.
Well, it's fine. He didn't interact with Tim Burton's Batman. He could have easily interacted with Adam West's Batman.
R.I.P.
No.
P-I-M-P.
You spelled it right.
Okay.
So, I like... Even though it gets a little exposition heavy when he gets to the Fortress of Solitude, the backstory itself is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like, they don't try to overcomplicate it. It's not told out of order for no reason. Right, Ryan?
That hurt.
It does hurt, but it's also stupid. The movie is pretty slow. We both agree. Bit of a slow start.
That is my biggest issue with the movie. It's just so
It really
slow.
Although it is kind of slow, especially if you've seen it before, so you kind of know where everything's going.
Yeah.
It feels a lot longer. there's not really a wasted scene, I would say. There's no unnecessary scenes where, like, there's always character development throughout it. It just can be slow. Kind of like Alien, I guess. I would say it's like the Alien series.
Yeah.
Alien's kind of slow in, like, all of its starts, but, like, it's always character developing.
Yeah.
So it's not, like, bad, but I can understand if a person's bored.
I'm not, like, thrilled I'm on this ride, but I know it'll get good eventually.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about, you know, at least the first, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. But pretty much after he gets on Earth.
That's pretty early. Actually.
Was that 15 minutes in?
It's about 10 minutes in, 10, 15. Well, that's why I actually wanted to bring up one of my negatives for it is the fact that the opening with Zod, if you don't know there's a sequel, that scene is really pointless. Now, it makes sense because they wrote and planned on filming them back to back.
Yeah.
So it was going to be like one giant movie and it got put in 2 parts. And then all that was going to happen.
But if it failed...
you were never going to see a sequel. And in reality, that Zod scene is totally pointless.
Yeah. Do you think it was just put in as like a wink to the people that read the comics?
I don't know if Zod was necessarily a wink, because it was planned.
Yeah.
They were planning on doing something with that. And if it was going to be one big movie and it was like, it's just too long, I guess that scene would work, but it's 2 separate movies and Zod doesn't show back up and he's not even relevant.
Do you think that it's still a great movie with the Zod scene?
I think it's still a great movie with the Zod scene, but I guess now that 2 definitely exists, kind of imagining, like, it is kind of pointless. It's kind of like when you see, like, in Age of Ultron, when you see Thor go into the pool.
Yeah,
it has no relevance to the actual movie. It's all for Thor 3. Yeah. And if you took it out, it doesn't hurt the film.
Right.
Keeping it in doesn't destroy the movie, but it's distracting.
Right.
Because it doesn't come back into the movie at all, but it's going to be relevant later. But do you need scenes like that in a movie? Because people gripe, like, with the current DC movies that they're doing that a lot. See, I'm not going to excuse this one just because it's good in general.
Yeah.
And it's the first one. But it's doing what other movies are doing today. And people have problems with. So, it doesn't hurt the movie, but it doesn't help it. It doesn't bother me necessarily that there's not a lot of action in the movie, but for a superhero movie, you would expect more.
To me, it's just all about just the magic of seeing your favorite superhero, the superhero at the time. Like, to me, he's still on the Mount Rushmore of superheroes. It's like seeing the guy on the big screen, bright colors, just capturing the magic. That's why little action. I mean, I could have used more, but since there wasn't anymore, I wasn't like, oh man, more cops and robbers. Could have used that.
Biggest negative in the whole movie is the ending. The whole flying around the world. That's pretty dumb. It's probably one of the dumbest superhero endings. One of them, not even close to the bottom, but it's one of the dumbest. And the thing is, I like the scene around it. I do like it. I just, like, okay, so he could fly around the world so fast, he could time travel. You can either argue he's making the world rotate backwards, as if that's how time works, or he's just going back in time in general.
Yeah.
So why couldn't he grab both missiles? If he can fly that fast in the first place?
He wasn't motivated to do it.
People are gonna die!
Yeah, I mean...
That's good-ass motivation for me!
You're not wrong, but...
I understand why story-wise...
He literally only cares about...
Lois.
He literally only cares about Lois and, like, his mom. Are there spoilers?
In this? I can put, like, little spoilers.
When she died! It was just like, whoa, I kind of messed up. Maybe I need to use all my power instead of just, you know...
And goes against the whole Kryptonian warning, like, you're not supposed to meddle or, like, do this.
He's like,
and he doesn't.
He's like, I got this, man.
So it's like, alright. And then, like, there's no consequences for it when he does it.
Yeah, even in the later movies.
No!
Nothing...
I really like how they handled Papa Kent's death. I think it's a really smart way to do it.
Yeah.
As opposed to a tornado. Because I don't like that in Man of Steel, I'll bring this back up in a Man of Steel review. I don't like that he can physically save him, Yes, he doesn't want to be saved, but he could if he wanted to. But in this movie, he dies from a heart attack. How does Superman save someone from a heart attack?
Yeah.
Like, he could do so much.
Yeah.
The one thing, his dad dies from the one thing he can't stop.
Yeah. I mean, even in All-Star Superman, the one, like, he basically became a god, but he still couldn't stop cancer.
Yeah. And I think that's, like, I don't know, I feel like that's more impactful. The story is still entertaining, even, like, after all these superhero movies have come out with, like, their bigger set pieces and faster paced, like, stories and origins. I still think this one holds up pretty well for the first blockbuster superhero movie.
Yeah. Like, if there was, like, ever a definitive top 10 list for comic book movies,
This could easily be, like, top 3 or 5. 5 or 3.
Yeah, for sure top 5. It's exactly what I want a comic book movie to be.
Yeah.
You know, wonderful, colorful, whimsical.
People are actually enjoying themselves.
Yeah, and a hero being a hero, not, you know, making difficult choices because plot.
Well, I mean, at the end where he has to pick the missiles and stuff. That's part of the drama. But, like, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, like, but, like, that kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Like, he's not just doing the difficult stuff. He is being a hero in general, but he also does the difficult things when they need to happen.
Right.
But not every decision he does is specifically like, oh, this is a big problem.
Right.
The only you can handle. He's just, in general, being like, nah, these people would need help. And I have the ability to help. So I should. What would you give this movie? Alright, we agree. Yep. I think it was kind of obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing this.
Bah!